DJ, you made this?
I know what the fuck going, man. I'm in the studio with my big brother. Y'all niggas don't know how to play with. Yeah, I hear it back in my tango on. Back in the day, I was just all alone. Now I got all these bad bitches blowing on my phone. Free my brother, I send him a drone. Nigga wouldn't be like me, it's a clone. Know I'm a fuck when I put on cologne. They call for the ambulance, but they already home. Baby girl mad cause I keep the shit pee. Bro couldn't get in the whip, so he made him a key. If you buying inside, then we can link. I do tricks for that brick like a genie. Take him on the chase, I ain't catching his him. When you shooting that stick, boy, ain't for the kidney. Nigga ain't taking shit from a nigga, I work for every damn penny. Wanna be a vampire, I got the remedy. Caught in that dream, that shit was so vividly. But it got here and it turned us that skinny. Cow on the road, I was just serving junkies. Just in the cell, I was rat to my bunkie. Whole thing, I'm finna get up puppy. Bitch, you crazy. I got young niggas shooting like the Navy. If you owe me, then bitch better pay me. We stuck in the field, beat your ass like a slave. Nigga, don't look at me crazy. Nigga, don't look at me crazy. I think you niggas got brave. Nigga, don't look at me crazy. I think you niggas got brave. Fuck is you little niggas saying? JC put all in these streets, reporting they see me again. Thank God woke me at my sleep, that pill almost got me again. Graveyard shifts all in my dreams, the demons are at it again. I smell blood all in these streets, so I'ma go sharking again. 600 for that QP, that should be a bargain for them. Falling pussy like warm sheets, fresh off the dryer on them. Add to the clip, let that bitch rip, gotta subtract some of them. No survival packs, no ambulances, I'm knee deep in all the action. I trying to figure out what the fuck you niggas on. Trying to trick us off the streets, trying to get my brothers gone. Had us thrown away the blickies, had us smashing all the phones. Before SWAT came in next morning, and you know that shit was gone.
Black African power. What's good? What's happening? A well-organized lie defeats a disorganized truth every time. Well, who we, man? Y'all already know what it is, man. It's Bobby banging this bitch. I like to do the late night show after the pseudos run their mouth. That way I can bring clarity back to the conversation. I'm on my victory lap. And they trying to steal the thunder, marginalizing what the term Africa is, misquoting, solid information, playing in front of y'all face. What's up, Zane? They playing in front of y'all face, man. With the barbershop talk. Playing in front of your face, man. Now let me see how many people come in here. Now, if enough people don't come in, I'll save the show for tomorrow. Yeah, I mean, I'll save it for tomorrow. Let me see. If I can get 50 people in here, I'm going to do it. I'm going to wake up and see. Check that show I did earlier. It's got about 1,400 views on it. It's a good one. Let's just write it around. Let's see if it's worth it. Y'all might have been Super Bowl partied out. Yeah, they running them up, but I got them. Put me in the game, coach. Put me in the game. I'm built for these moments, man. I'm telling you. Built for the moments, man. I can't believe it. They just keep falling and falling and going on and on and on. I find it amazing. Yeah, but if I don't get at least 35 to start it off, man, because I know niggas been drinking and they falling out. Then I'm gonna shut it down. I might play some of my cuts over here. I might shut it down. But I swear to goodness, man, I got to fight. I'm telling you, man. This is what won't happen. I hit you with my from heaven voice in the galactic circle. You will never, ever hear me lying on a person or misconstruing what they saying. Like they saying, bro, they running them up. I'm never running them up. I'm saying what I'm saying, and I'm standing on what I'm saying. That's what I'm doing. That's my voice from the cosmos. So I'm gonna wait a little bit. Right? I got the fire. Clip them up. Got the clips in the barrel. For sure. I ain't never let nobody put no dirt on my name. I got love in my heart for the YouTube community. But I ain't never let nobody put dirt on my name. I ain't never let them misconstrued information because it's easy work. Let me just sit back and see. Let me see how the crowd look. You know what I mean? Lost they parlay tonight. They did on that crab. It was a crazy game. Man, and the halftime show was even wilder. It was wilder. Yes, it was. I hope y'all enjoyed the game. Man, I like a little different type of football. It was a little bit. It was a little bit for me. It was definitely a little bit for me, man. It wasn't like there ain't no game I wanted to really rock with. Sit there and we watch the game, man. Then I watch Chef Nell run amok. He ran amok. God dang. What is on these, man? Mm-hmm. Boy. 19 people in the building. Not enough. Not doing it with 19. Mm-mm. Nope. Nope. Y'all can wake up. Get up. Get up. 19 ain't and 17 ain't enough. Nope. Mm-mm. Play some music. Y'all enjoy the game though? Trying to figure out what. No, it was good. Got it all clipped up. What's up, Vince? You're a funny guy, man. You be betting on Chef now, don't you, there, Vince? He just ran amok today, man. He was way out the game, man. Out the game. Dang, y'all know, don't put my name in it. Don't mention me. Now we Egyptian maniacs, if we call Egyptians African, and the term African don't mean nothing now. Crazy. It finally make it to the museums. For something not to mean nothing, it finally make it to museums. After 1973, it finally make it in some museums, and now it don't mean nothing. Niggas need to stay cutting hair and call it a day. Stay out the conversation. Truth and falsehood strangely mixed, yeah? Yeah? Mm-hmm. Clip a map. Man, make sure y'all check out this episode we did today, man. Episode 12, man. Southern TV episode 12. It was a good one, man. It was a good one, y'all. What? Read some clips. Somebody, what? Davey, ooh, well, I got them cooked up. Ooh, egg beats. I might just, I'm in a blocking mode today. I might block you. I might block you for talking reckless today. You probably don't want to talk reckless today. Let me see. Either illiterate or disingenuous. Which is it? Mozzie Jacobs refutes what you're saying. What is highly Levantian? We put them articles in the chat, GTP boy. And now I see the fake North Africans is hating. They hating. They hating. They hating. They hating. Hating. You know what I really like? You know what I really like, man? I hate when you throw the scientific articles in ChatGPT and they explain what it's saying, and then niggas who ain't supposed to be even reading the shit, all in the data can't read it, got a whole different meaning of what they were saying. That's what I really hate. Haters. Hey, egg beats, knock it off before you get beat up out of here. Before you get beat. Because you don't ever hit the link. Anyway, man, let me play this song, man. Let me see, man. I'm gonna cook them early tomorrow. I don't want to waste this one. I don't want to waste this one. This is a classic right here. This is gonna be a classic. I'm gonna give you some insight on what Diaz was actually saying. All right. I'm gonna let Dr. Cater talk about it. Gonna throw that in there, right? So you don't think I'm just flim-flamming, all right? Because I'm never doing that, right? Then I'm gonna source up, right, on this conversation of what the Greeks meant. What did the Greeks mean when they said certain things? Yeah, he cooked up. Yeah, he's a call him chef. Now he ain't cooking. It's Chef Renel. He got the Greek name for the Egyptian Chef Renel. It's really Sakare or something like that. Or she, I don't know. It's an Egyptian name. It's a Greek Egyptian name. Chefrin, he is his real name. Named him after an Egyptian. All right. 5 more minutes. I'm gonna wait 5 more minutes. If we don't get enough people tonight, since we already cooked, got about 1,500 views on that video we did earlier. I like that. And the stupid comment. If y'all ain't seen that video earlier, it's good, man. It's a good one. Shoot those. Let me see. I might copy and paste and put this in the thing since you biblical DNA. Yeah, here, biblical DNA is definitely a pseudo. And for you call me or let them do a whole video on you, biblical DNA. I got you. Let me see. I'm gonna do him like this. Get him tomorrow. We'll get him tomorrow. Yeah, it's easy work around here, man. He's a fake geneticist, biblical DNA. Fake geneticist. And then you called me illiterate. Yeah, I got owe you one. Just for even being in my comment section with that bullshit. That fake chief face shit. Fake niggas. I don't like the fake geneticists. They ain't went to school at first and telling me what the article said. Crazy. Hit the cash, yeah. Black African power, man. Y'all coming in slow. Need 30 people, 40 people. Before I cook them, I'm going to cook them. I can't get motivated with the 25. I'm going to cook them. You know I'm cooking them up. Cook them up. Let me show you how you cook them up with their own words if they won't play with my words. Shit. No. I thought everybody knew that. Leave that nigga alone. Get somebody else. Leave him alone. He ain't the one to pick with. Don't play. You make a mistake, that's fine. We all make mistakes. We definitely make mistakes. But man, don't lie on my name. That's all we got is a name, right? Y'all ain't know that? That's all we got is a name, yo. Because it ain't personal, yo. It's business. It's business. The people get up in here, man. I'm starting that shit off. Fire. Taking it straight off the meat. Huh. Straight off, how do you say it? Straight off the bone. Straight off the bone. Where that video at? Straight off the bone. Check back and see if we are. Let me check this. Let me see this dash. Let me see the content right here. Let me grab that, man. Y'all need to go look at the video, man. It's banging. All right. Let me see. Let me see here. All right. Got you. Okay. Yeah. All right, let me see where we at. Let me see if it's worth doing it. 28, y'all ain't dead yet. Black African Power, man. I see you. Russell Point, Ohio. Indian, I see you, man. We see you in the game. What is this doing, man? This is taking too long right here. I don't like this. Come on, man. This is definitely taking too long here, bro. We need to. Took too long. Man, did too much, man. Man. I'm gonna go this again. Really, yo? I mean to click that like that. Killed that. This was supposed to have been an easy one, too. All right, let me see where we at, man. We ready to go cook them up. We at 27, yo. You call somebody. Do it for 30. Get here and start cooking in a minute. 29. Counting. Okay. Let me see. Colonial. Colonial powers. Man. All right, I think we're getting in here. 29. We stuck at 29. Yo, y'all playing. All right. Dum, 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 dum. Oh, what tangled web we weave when at first we practice to deceive. Gotta get you. So, it shouldn't take long. That shouldn't be long. Yeah, we at 31. We about to click that. Man, make sure y'all like and share, man. Like and share, man. Thanks for Zan. I don't know. I thought I've been gave you a moderator thing, and I didn't give you a moderator thing. Cheated you, boy. Oh man. Let me get that for you, Zan. All right, man. Since y'all seem like y'all trying to get it. Y'all trying to get it. So I'm gonna have to. I'm going. Let's kick this thing off right. Appreciate anybody that came through. Know what I mean? All right, I got my thing structured like I want to get it structured. Okay, let's see here. All right, let me see. See who's scamming. We caught them scamming tonight. Caught them with their hand in the cookie jar. We definitely did. We sure did. We caught him in the cookie jar. Let's see. Caught him in the cookie jar. Yeah, caught him lying on ChatGPT. We did all that in one good, healthy show. Man, y'all know it ain't personal, man. It's just business, man. It's just business. Business. And I gotta always uphold my name, yo, because you know that's all you got, right? Is your name. All right. Let me rinse you up, Zan. Hold on, bro. Let me get you. I got you. Got you. Been around for a minute helping out. Definitely got to be rinsed up. Can't have you out there in the savannah in the middle of nowhere. Got you in the middle of nowhere. What do you like that, bro? Let me get you. Let me get it right here. But oh, what tangled web they weave when it's first to deceive. There. Got you, bro. Yeah. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Appreciate that support, man. All right, man. We got the right people in here. All right. We get ready to cook them. Let's get our thing on, man. Got 35,000 in the building, man. This is a good place to start, man. It's a good place for us to go ahead and get this in, man. All right, man. We're going to get this in, man. Let me get the hype. Let me get the hype going, man. See what we got here, man. Because guess what? I see you. Y'all know what it is, man. I definitely see you. You know what? We ain't playing.
God killer, we make those ring base from the cannon. Use me, NW code, clear vision, hilltop roofs, no gimmicks. Montgomery, just the tempo, race this turn. Info heavy, show sources, don't chit chat, no proof, fall back. Quick, Rogers Ave, where I'm at, another Pequee, stay intact. Park Heights, facts ready, Liberty Heights, no ferry. Yo, playing weak, go fast. Gear review, hold that. Methods first, no myth, you replicate, then it's legit. God killer, we make bells ring, base in the cannons, haze ring. You promote pseudo, dust cap, stick or swim, better adapt. Roger that, talk slick love, another Pequee, move quick love. Show sources, don't chit chat, no proof, fall back. Quick, NW code, clear vision, hilltop roofs, no gimmicks. Correlation ain't cause headlines, love applause. Rogers Ave, no fake flex. Novin Pequee, no late. Dion Riley, facts, step, say less. Learn up, then rap. Mondam and shift the tempo. Rest is down and foreheady. Park Heights, facts ready. Liberty Heights, no ferry. Dark killer, we make bells ring, bass from the cannons, ears ring, we promote pseudo, that's cap, sink or swim, better adapt, Rogers Ave, talk slick, nah, Northern Peak, we move quick, nah, Rogers Ave, no fake flex, Northern Peak, we no latex, show source, don't chit chat, no proof, phone back, quick, DOI link, facts, stamp, say less, learn up, then rap. Shirley Avenue, Shirley Avenue, Shirley Avenue, Shirley Avenue.
Man, look, let's get it, man. And let's never let them forget the words that came out of their damn mouth. When they decided to do what they do. Let's get right to it. Straight up, right where we need to be. When we're getting them with the accuracy. Oh, what tangled web they weave when at first they practice to deceive. We never let them forget this. Because this is ground zero.
Is the video Black Egypt debunked, meaning this is ground zero. Egypt debunked, meaning this is ground zero. Made July, it's been 5 years. People say 6, but it's actually been around 5 years, right? It had 15,000 views, almost 16,000 views, made July 21st, 2021. I dedicated to all the Afrocentrics and told them to come back home to West Central Africa. And I said, this is a Asante game, right? Let's be clear. So 2021, day one, the first day Black Egypt Debunk was made. So clearly before I made this, I was saying the same thing also. Okay, day one.
I just can't let y'all forget that. I just think that's important. Not to ever let y'all forget that. That man say ground zero, day one. That's what that man say, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah, he say that. Day one. All right, that's when he started talking about Egypt. One black. Man, y'all can't find me teaching a damn lesson on Egyptians being black. Matter of fact, all Egyptian maniac talk is some bullshit. I basically was just coming in to try to, brush up the subject and put y'all down with what the scholars was always saying. The scholars was pushing that the Egyptians was black. And the shit was a joke and it was funny. Until all the Wikipedia articles started saying it. Now all of a sudden, that don't mean nothing. Now that you can start to find the terminology in the damn museums, now don't mean nothing. That's the bullshit. All right? Can't sit around here and disregard the importance of calling the African civilization damn African. And they always get it misconstrued on what exactly is damn African. If your mind has been colonized, you'll think an African has to be dark skinned with big lips and peppercorn hair. All right? Simple as that. That ain't hard to figure that out, right? I'm going to say this again. Okay? Not hard. Say it again. So we come right here. All right. This man showed you 2005, right? No, 2000, my fault. Damn. 2021, right? Okay. Let me tell you how long I've been listening to this man. We'll take you back. Take you back a little bit here. You gotta go back 14 years for me to call the damn Egyptian black. You gotta go back 14 years, man. That's 14 years right there, yo. 14 years ago, man. All right? Damn near 15 years, I learned this. Learn how to really put this functionally.
No, I don't use that term Negro.
Yeah, that makes sense. I'm just trying to make a strong point. Where they black.
Well, in terms of their skin color, they would have been dark based on ecological principles. Based on principles, that's our guess. Do we have any empirical proof?
Be dark, Asian or you can be dark and black. That's what I'm saying. Sorry to use the word Negro, but at the time, the day of being Negroes coming out of Africa.
I don't know what you mean by Negro, and I wouldn't use that word. I wouldn't use that word. No.
A black man.
Yeah. Well, if they no, I will say that they were dark, and I don't know how dark, and they had limb ratios that are tropical that you find in the tropics today. Okay, those are all things that, from based on biological principles, would tie them to where they are. And most people, and most scientists would say yes, they would have been dark. How dark, I can't tell you. They wouldn't have been blonde. No, if that's what you're asking. If that's the hidden question underneath, they wouldn't have been blonde.
In other words, they would have been African from Africa. They would have been.
At that moment in time, you're talking about a species history. Okay.
Okay,
It's
we
a
need to
different
just
issue.
wind down now. There's no more questions.
So we right there. All right. Back here. We doing this 14 years ago, man. Y'all seen that. All right. That man wasn't even off the stoop. He probably was still drinking. He's still drinking. Whatever the hell he was doing. All right. So I'm just fed up with a nigga telling me what the hell he told me. I never learned from the damn ignorant. Once I realized you just ignorant, bro, you know what I'm saying? And I can't even give you credit for nothing because what you do is misconstrue something. I'm never listening to. I'm not even paying that shit no mind. All right. So y'all can go have that. Let that man keep saying that. All right. Let that man keep preaching what he showed somebody. It's bullshit, man. If you ain't got a doctor in front of your damn name, trust me, bro. I'm hearing you. I'm processing it, yo. But I'm going to wait till I can hear from an expert and read it in the expert source. I've learned how to do that over the years. That go for everybody. That's why I say, don't clump me with nobody. Let me take my own. I'm going to stand here. Let me take my own. Let me make my own mistakes. I'm telling you, I ain't trying to hear it. I don't want to hear nothing about this person said they was this. This person said they was that. I'm not listening, dog. I'm reading the sources they give me. I know they ain't did the field work, so it's the sources saying it, not them. And maybe they might be misconstruing it. Simple as that. Now let's get to the business at hand. Let's deal with Sheffrin Wild L. He went wild. He must have been drinking because of the Super Bowl or something. Yeah, he was feeling himself. Right. Yeah. Guy gotta know what to say about me. Never mischaracterize what I said. All right? Can make enough mistakes where you can just say the mistake I made. That ain't hard. That ain't hard. I'm gonna say this again. Make enough mistakes where you can say, well, yo, you made a mistake here. Let's talk about that. Right. I ain't claiming to be doing no damn field research around here. But what I do is I'm paying attention. Now, there was a point made where while listening to niggas, first he clumped me, whatever. Don't clump me with Reggie. Don't clump me with Ngozi. Don't clump me with Gullah. Don't clump me with the pseudo killers. Don't clump me with no damn body when it comes to this conversation. Don't clump me. Don't clump me. Don't clump me. All right? Mean that. And I keep saying it. Don't clump me. Not listening. Not trying to hear that. Nope. So where I want to start at? Where do I want to start with this dude? How I want to get him? Got so much to get him on. Where do I want to? What clip do I want to start first? Oh, what tangled where we weave when first we practice to deceive. Let's start here. So this is what you're never going to catch me doing. I'm never going to fake lie or lie, right? And I might mishear what you say, but I'm never going to put no dirt on your name if you ain't earned it. Chef, you lied to the people. Gotta say it. Gotta prove it. You lied, man. Here you go. Yeah, let's cook them up because it's easy work. Let's see if what he say can stand. All right, let's see. Boom.
Oh, you don't believe ChatGPT is racist? Okay. It is racist and outdated, right? Let's prove it. Let's prove it. Here we go. Woo! What did the ancient Greeks call the land and the people south of Egypt? The ancient Greeks used two main labels for the lands of the peoples of south of Egypt, depending on the period and context. Ethiopia and Nubia/Kush via Egyptian and later Greco-Roman transmission. Meaning the word Ethiopia comes from etho, which equals burn, and ops equals face. Literally, burnt-faced people, a reference to dark complexion under the sun. For the Greeks, Ethiopia meant the lands and the peoples south of Egypt, especially along the Upper Nile and beyond. The geographic scope and Greek usage, Ethiopia was flexible and could include Nubia, Upper Sudan, Horn of Africa, sometimes even parts of.
I'm going to threaten you in mid-clip, Chef. I'm going to threaten you. I'm threatening you. You better not be about to say that some kind of weird way. Well, you already said that ChatGPT is racist because they use the word black. So I know damn well you ain't trying to say. You showed the Greek that the damn Greeks' usage of the term black was equal or synonymous with the way the colonial powers used it. And since it is, it's racist. You better not be trying to do that. Because if you do that, I'm going to say, bro, you can't read. And when I say you can't read, you're not comprehending what ChatGPT just put on there. Now, maybe you watched the Super Bowl, maybe you sipped a little sip. Yeah, I mean, maybe it's that. But I know you're not able to do that. And then I know you're not going to say that I'm going to say, man, you didn't put the right prompt in there. I know you're not able to do that, Chef. Because you standing with your hands up like this, and I'm going to gun you down. I'm going to book him down. I know he ain't saying that. Let's see.
Arabia. It meant deep Africa beyond Egypt. Classical sources, Herodotus, describes Ethiopians as living where? South of Egypt, along the Nile. What does Ethiopia mean so far, y'all? Burnt-faced people, all right? Strabo placed Ethiopia south of Egypt and Kush. Homer in the Iliad and Odyssey, Ethiopians are portrayed as respected noble peoples visited by the gods. So they didn't have a racist view of those people. Y'all see that right there, okay? Example.
Y'all heard that? Y'all heard what he just said, right? They didn't have a racist view of them people. Let's see how he framed it. Let's see. Because he frames them up. Let's see. Now you heard what he just read, right? Let's see.
Homeric tradition. Quote, the blameless Ethiopians divided in two. This shows that Ethiopians were not viewed as barbarians, but often as prestigious and ancient peoples. All right. Now let's get down to here. right? Nubia, the term Nubia. Did I skip it? No, I didn't. Hold on. Nubia, the term comes from later medieval and modern times, right? But it refers to the same region south of Egypt, northern Sudan. In antiquity, Greeks mostly folded this into Ethiopia, the land of the blacks. So Nubia is a more modern, starting in the medieval and modern time for the word Ethiopian. Interchangeable. Y'all see that? All right. Don't let them trick you. All right. Now, it says, did Ethiopian mean black? Yes. Right there. Did Ethiopia mean black? Yes. In practice, often yes. Greek descriptions emphasize dark skin, woolly hair, southern climate, Nile origins. All right. So while it was not a race term in the modern sense, Ethiopian functioned as an ethnic physical label. Did Ethiopian mean black? Yes. So right now, ChatGPT, right, is running through my consensus, is running through the hieroglyphic helper, all of that, breaking down these words, and this is what they're saying. So the pseudo killers is saying if somebody uses the word black, black African, they're being racist and unscientific, right? And it's not credible. So now we know that Ankh and the pseudo killers should never use ChatGPT no more because ChatGPT can turn racist at the drop of a dime. ChatGPT can call Ethiopia Black Africa, south of Egypt, right? So ChatGPT can belt out racist shit at the drop of a dime. Watch. Look, this is a new chat. I didn't ask them nothing about black people. Y'all see this new chat? Didn't ask them nothing drop of a dime, right? So ChatGPT can belt out racist shit at the drop of a dime. Watch. Look, this is a new chat. I didn't ask them nothing about black people. Y'all see this new chat? I said, what did the ancient Greeks call the land and the people south of Egypt? I just asked what he called them. And it's telling you what Ethiopian and Nubian is, and Kush is synonymous to in modern terms. Black. Common sense. So now, don't ever use ChatGPT no more, right? Because it's a racist source, right? Now, they'll tell you that they're the only ones who know how to use ChatGPT the correct way. All of this bullshit. All of this bullshit. I guarantee you he gonna do a show and say, I don't know how to use ChatGPT. I don't know how to prompt, right? I don't know how to write a prompt. I don't know how to ask questions, right? All of this. He might even ask whether I got the pay version or the free version. All of these diversion tactics.
I'm not gonna do none of that. You couldn't hear that, Vince? Vince, you can't hear that? Huh. Put a 1 in the chat if y'all couldn't hear that. No way. Let me say this, man. If you heard him read ChatGPT and it clearly told you what the Greeks used the term for, at no point was ChatGPT being racist. It said the Greeks used the term as a descriptor, meaning because these people were dark-skinned. Humans can see in colors like all apes can. When the Europeans came in, colonial powers came in, they used the term as a racialized term and as a descriptor at the same damn time. ChatGPT is not being racist. It's simply explaining how the Greeks used it. They was describing these people that were darker than them. Chef plays this wild game, makes a mistake and reads it, and forget that it's giving what it is. This is wild right here. So for those who ain't catching it, let me show you. Let me put this right here and make this simpler. So at no point is there a need to kind of act like the ChatGPT is being racist. He was playing. Try to act like we don't know what he's putting in there. The ChatGPT was not being racist. It was explaining how the Greeks used it. Today, people, when they say the Egyptians are black, they're not talking about the color of their skin. They're saying they're black people. Because of the Cairo Symposium, they had already said that they ranged in skin color. Big up the Black Panther. They already said that. So you can't be saying what they already said. There's no need to prove to us that the Egyptians had dark to light skin because the scientists had already spoken on that. Samantha Kieda, 17 years ago, already spoke on that. So nobody today in this conversation, when y'all saying the Egyptians is black, y'all not meaning that their skin is dark. Y'all saying that they're black people. It's what y'all saying. You trying to slip that one across, Chef. That's a little bit sneaky there, bro. That's a little bit, and then I'm gonna act like you ain't know what you was putting in the prompt. Bro, man, knock it off. So let's get here. Did the Greeks mean the same thing as the colonial powers? By the term black, let's deal with some anthropology here. The research credited the ancient Greeks uses of the term translated as black correspond with modern or colonial racial categories. See, I was fighting about that. So when I was saying, bro, we can't use the term black when talking about an ancient population because it's anachronistic. I wasn't saying that you can't say that the Egyptians don't range in skin color from dark to black. I never said that. But you see how I sat up there on that mic and played that game like that, yo? And then lied on ChatGPT. How did the Greek ethnographic thought differ from early modern European racial ideology? This is what ChatGPT was trying to explain. The Greek terminology, melis, dark or black, used for color, soil, hair, skin, Egyptus, burnt face, describing a people from high sun regions, not racializing it. So when me and the pseudo killers and those who scientifically literate, right, we was trying to say for you to apply that term is anachronistic and is damn near following the pattern of racism because that's what they did. They racialized it. The terms were descriptive and situational, not racial or hereditary. Environmental climate explanations. Greek authors attributed physical differences to climate and geography. They sure did. Skin color was understood as adaptive or acquired, not fixed by lineage. No concept of immutable biological race. This is what the colonial powers did. Remember, they was in scientific racism. They used it as a measure of enslaving people. Ethnocentric without race. Greek distinction between Greek and barbarian was linguistic, not cultural. Did not imply biological inferiority or permanent hierarchy. Dark-skinned people were not grouped into a single racial category. Case study heredity described Egyptians as dark-skinned, woolly hair, presented Egyptians as ancient, skilled, and culturally sophisticated. No linkage between physical traits and intellectual or moral inferiority. That's what the colonial powers did. So for him to call ChatGPT racist, he was faking y'all out, acting like ChatGPT was promoting the racialized aspect of it when they was talking about the Greeks. They actually wasn't. You was scamming, bro. You was trying to scam an intellectual real estate between our ears. Oh, what tangled web we weave. When at first we practiced to deceive. No concept of a black race. Greeks did not construct a transcontinental group called black people. No shared ancestry, bloodline, or racial destiny implied. Identity was tied to polis culture, region. Colonial era racialization. Early modern European redefined black as a biological hereditary race. Race became fixed hierarchy and legally enforced, used to justify slavery, colonialism, and social exclusion. And this is why we're saying don't apply that term. Because it's fixed in a particular time period. And to affix it to the ancient populations is anachronistic. I never said that you can't postulate that somebody just said dark skin or brown skin. Or I never said that. Why would he play this game? Because he want me to beat him up. That's what he want. Structural differences, Greek usage, descriptive, environmental, non-hereditary, colonial usage, biological, hereditary. How? Modern race ideology does not exist in classical Greek thought. Why would he say that ChatGPT was racist? Why would he say I would claim that he didn't prompt it right? Why would he say these things? Scholarly consensus. Projecting modern race concepts onto antiquity is anachronistic. Race is a modern social construct, not an ancient scientific category. Greek blackness does not equal colonial black race. Here's all your sources right here. What in the hell is going on, man? What we doing? What we talking about? What the hell is going on here? Let's go back. Let's make sure. Maybe I'm tripping. Was I tripping? Maybe I was tripping.
All of these diversion tactics, y'all, right? The credibility. My ChatGPT is a free one. No, I'm paying $20 a month for this, I think. Right? Come out every month. Oh, you don't got the consensus. I got the consensus also. Oh, you don't believe ChatGPT is racist? Okay. It is racist and outdated, right? Let's prove it.
So he gonna prove that ChatGPT is racist and outdated. And then when he proved this by reading the shit, after shit is clearly telling him that the Greeks wasn't using it in a racist manner, he's then gonna say that I'm gonna act like he don't got the paid version. I'm gonna act like he don't know how to use it. Really? Is this how we play the game? Never played a game like this. And then we got, hold on, let me call this nigga out in the chat, because he's a flaming pseudo. Where you at? Where you at? Where you at? Where you at, unbiased, the damn pseudo? Biting Chef ass. Oh, Chef wasn't trying to say that. Nigga, he was. Because he said it. Where you at? Ran his fake ass up out of here with the fake FBA pseudo claims. We having a good time today. Great time. I can't believe he tried that. I want to make sure I'm hearing this again. Maybe I'm tripping. Let's see. What is he saying about ChatGPT now? He's saying by the fact they're using the term black, then we can't use it no more because it's racist, because the pseudo killers are claiming that we can't use the word black. Fuck out of here, Chef.
Oh, you don't believe ChatGPT is racist? Okay. It is racist and outdated, right? Let's prove it. Let's prove it. Here we go. Woo! What did the ancient Greeks call the land and the people south of Egypt? The ancient Greeks used two main labels for the lands of the peoples of south of Egypt, depending on the.
He was being funny. He had no smile on his face. He was putting smut on my name, and the pseudo killers is what he was doing. We don't play like that. I don't play with his name like that. He might play with them niggas. We don't play like that. We keep it right where it's supposed to be. We're going to critique what we're saying. We're going to critique it. We ain't going to lie. Just going to critique what we're saying. It ain't never content for me anyway. It ain't personal. It's business. This is just how I get down. I ain't got nothing but love in my heart for Chef. I might completely dislike bitch X. Chef, you lied on me.
The period in context. Ethiopia and Nubia/Kush via Egyptian and later Greco-Roman transmission. Meaning the word Ethiopia comes from etho, which equals burn, and ops equals face. Literally, burnt-faced people. A reference to dark complexion under the sun.
Just tell me. Just a reference to their damn complexion, not racialized. So how is ChatGPT racist? Because they use the term black, but they're using it in a non-racialized manner. That is my damn point. So at no point would I say you ain't prompted right, you got the free version. That's a tactic, huh? No, this is a tactic of willfully and purposefully misconstruing what we've been saying. What I have been saying is to use the racialized term as an anachronism. And it was clearly on the screen in the slides I just said. He got to know that, man. He got to know that. But let's see.
For the Greeks, Ethiopia meant the lands and the peoples south of Egypt, especially along the Upper Nile and beyond. The geographic scope and Greek usage, Ethiopia was flexible and could include Nubia, Upper Sudan, Horn of Africa, sometimes even parts of Arabia. It meant deep Africa beyond Egypt. Classical sources, Herodotus, describes Ethiopians as living where? South of Egypt, along the Nile. What does Ethiopia mean so far, y'all? Burnt-faced people, all right? Strabo placed Ethiopia south of Egypt and respected noble people, burnt tradition. All right, now let's get down. The term comes from later Midian South Nubia time. Y'all see that? All right. Don't let them trick you. All right? Now, it says, let them trick you. Interchangeable. Y'all see that? All right.
Man, y'all see that right there? How the Greeks conceptually divide Africa. Let me see.
Don't let them trick you. All right. Now, it says, did Ethiopian mean black? Yes.
So he's saying the fact that they using this word, ChatGPT, is racist. First of all, it's a prompt. It's a program. Place your words in it, give you answers. The thing itself won't even play the racism game with you. But the way he framed it is wild. He's framing it as if the fact that it's using it, but it's using it in its proper context, Chef. So you saying, as you was reading that, you ain't know that, and you willfully produced a crazy narrative like this? Yeah, bro, I gotta keep
Right
my eye
there.
on you, yo.
Did Ethiopia often southern climate? This turn,
Hold on.
right, is running through my consensus words, and this is what they're saying. So the pseudo killers is saying if somebody uses the word black, black African, they're being racist and unscientific, right? And it's not credible. So now we know that Ankh and the pseudo killers should never use ChatGPT no more because ChatGPT can turn racist at the drop of a dime.
He's saying because ChatGPT explained a historical narrative on how the term black was applied in the ancient world, all of a sudden it's racist, man? Yeah, you playing in front of our face, yo. You the person you was talking about tonight. Huh. Let us proceed.
ChatGPT can call Ethiopia Black Africa.
No, it wasn't. The Greeks was calling it black because of the color of their skin. The Europeans was calling it black, not only for the color of their skin, but they racialized it and put it on a hierarchical scale. This is the difference, ladies and gentlemen. I'm amazed that a person is claiming to be teaching. Don't know that? He doing that shit on purpose. Yeah, he did that shit on purpose, man. Yeah, he did it on purpose, man. He did. On purpose. It's irresponsible of him. Scam, Chef. Scamology, bro. Tried to play that game. Tried to act like I've been saying, don't describe a person's skin color. That's cap. Trying to act like ChatGPT is racist because it's explaining the proper narrative of what the Greeks was talking about. That's cap. All right, let's move on to the next one. Flip them up. Let's move to the next phase of this. Yeah, bro, your reading comprehension is gone on that one. Make sure, let's see. All right, misconstrued that on purpose. So I know you do shit on purpose, man. I don't even play with you like that. Let me see. Here we go. Let's move on. Let's deal with this. You're lying. Had to fight you tooth and nail on that shit, man. You just feeling a little good because it's Black History Month. You're lying. You don't respect their work. You only glorify the things they got wrong. You don't give a fair and impartial critique of their work. You never talk about the things they got right and correct. You never talk about the time period they was in. You do none of that. You just talk shit. I understand that's what barbers do. In the barbershop, you talk shit. I get it. So it's a waste of time having a conversation with a person who don't even understand time periods, what type of information was available at the time, if it was a consensus, was it in mainstream yet? Man, 2021 is when a top-notch museum finally said the Egyptians was Black. How long did that take, yo? 54 years. The consensus was already in, bro. I remember talking to Chef. He didn't even understand that that UNESCO had actually produced the Cairo symposium, and that they had wrote 6 statements on race. Yeah, I remember that. He didn't even know that. And I say, dog, they never was going to let you get off the race thing. So why did they let Diop's rock? Because Diop's had a real interesting take about Africa and African people and the indigenousness of the Africans. He didn't even understand what a hypothesis was. Steph didn't even know that you can have an hypothesis and get things wrong, but they'll take the parts out of your hypothesis which will help move the field forward. He didn't even recognize that Diop produced interdisciplinary studies. He's one of the people, not the only one, but he's definitely one of the people that champion interdisciplinary studies. This is what they took forward to go back to critique everything over the last 50 years. Yeah, man. Playing on the name, bro. We don't do that. Because I'm here. I'm going to address the chat. Chef, I realize you cannot read. This is Chef's statement. He said the Greeks called the Ethiopians. ChatGPT said synonymous with Black. Read it again. Yes, but it did not mean Black in a racialized manner. It meant Black as a descriptor. At no point did I ever say in the conversation that you could not describe Egyptians as having Black skin. You know why I didn't do it? Because the Cairo Symposium described the Egyptians as having Black skin. Because Hawass described the Upper Egyptians as having Black or dark skin. Because the Neurorack study described that particular mummy as having brown or dark skin. So I would never say that, Chef. And the fact that you keep saying that means you missed it. That's wild to me. I'm no longer talking to you about Egypt. You think you ain't talking to me? I'm no longer talking to you ever again about Chef in it. I don't want to talk to him. Because he can't understand that the Greeks was using as a descriptor, not a racialized term. He don't understand that the pseudo killers and scientific literate people and scientists recognize that applying the racialized term to a population of people in the ancient time is anachronistic because they never did that. And that the colonial powers, although they was also using it as a descriptor, they also use it as racialization and as a means to enslave people. Now let's address the part about them saying Africans was ignorant and couldn't learn. They just said Africans, Negroes, blacks. And you claim that they were just talking about the sub-Saharan African. Do you know when Rajna went into Egypt? Do you know when the Egyptologists went into Egypt? They seen people that was way darker than them. They looked at the walls. They definitely seen them people was darker. In their mind, when they looked at the walls, they seen the people was darker. And the main thing they did was they moved Egypt out. And this is why the scholars was fighting. Let me make the point clear again. Colonial powers recognize people of African descent as being ignorant and slow. Anybody, watch this, anybody with brown to dark skin, anybody darker than them, they racialized them. That's what they did. They went into Egypt. They seen the walls. 2,000, 3,000 years ago. They didn't have a scientific study on, well, you know, the walls are just characters. This was the new study field. They seen people that was darker than them. They was like, man. They seen people who they claimed to be Nubians in Egypt. Rosner said it. Rosner said these people here are like the slaves in our country. Rosner lied. He seen them in all the households of the Egyptians. He was like, they just servants. He lied. He made a man wife a servant. That's what he did. It's right there on the reports. Read the works of Knots. They said that. So I'm very clear. I do not use the term black because the modern usage of it is racist white supremacist. When applying to an ancient civilization, it's anachronistic. That's all I ever said. You doing what smash them do. Well, we ain't mean, we mean the black. They got, man, come on, man. They settled that at the Cairo Symposium. Samantha Cater settled that in his statement about how they range the skin color. So I don't gotta go read it again. You go read it again. Very interesting here, this guy. Never talking to you again as you misconstrued ideas. Yep. I know why African Americans are attracted to Egypt. African Americans are attracted to Egypt the same way the world population is attracted to Egypt. Everybody's attracted to Egypt because it's a classical civilization. And when they teach classical civilization, they leave African people out of it. And that's why the scholars jumped up and dove in. That's why Diop decided to change the course of history. That's why the book talking about Middle East explains how, even in this book dealing with the Middle East, it's incorrect to classify them in the Middle East. It was not only trying to make us feel good. It was saying African people built Egypt. That's why they did that. Not because, they just us. That wasn't just it, bro. Like, what are you actually reading? You're going to take one or two people? The overall consensus was, amongst African thought, that they was indigenous to Africa. And they used the terms they had to use. That. Let me do this. Let me break out the big gun. Let's see. You haven't even read Diop's. I'm sure of it now. I'm absolutely positive that you have not even read Diop's. Let me throw this in here. Let me put in a little Samantha Cater here. Let me see. What in the world could Samantha Cater say about Diop's? Let's see. I wonder. What could he possibly say? Let's see. Now watch you call this man a pseudo. Yeah, I'm never talking to you again about the conversation, bro. You done. Yeah, I gotta put you over there. I gotta put you in that category now. You read ChatGPT and think it's being racist, yo. Here we go. Let's see. Let's see what Diop's was saying when he was talking about the Egyptians. Let's see. Yeah, I bet you ain't never heard this.
Not mean, as you have heard correctly from me, does not mean that there was no back migration. What it means is that the concept of the Egyptian is assembled on African soil. Now, the thing is I would imagine that some of the people that will tell you that the Egyptians were simply, if they use a word like black or simply indigenous, that many of them are quoting Sheikh Anta Diop. Is that right?
Yeah, a lot of them do.
Okay, but then they don't know Sheikh Anta Diop very well, because Sheikh Anta Diop clearly says in the translated volume that was put together by Mercer Cook, The African Origin of Civilization, which is based primarily on the French book, The Antiquity of Black Civilization, or something like Black Nations and Cultures from 1953, 54, 55. Sheikh Anta Diop says there was an infiltration of whites from Palestine during the Amrashan period. Sheikh Anta Diop says that. That's in the English edition too. So if you have a copy of the book, just go to find those pages, and then the next time somebody says that, they say, well, wait a minute, even Sheikh Anta Diop says it. He says it straight up.
In which period was that?
In the Amrashan, otherwise called Nakada too.
Okay. Oh, so in the pre-dynastic?
Yeah, so Sheikh Anta Diop says it himself.
Of course, he still believed in the whites and black thing.
Well, okay, now this is where it gets very tricky with Sheikh Anta Diop. When Sheikh Anta Diop says that the ancient Egyptians were Negroes from the beginning to the end, you have to understand, number one, when you read it in French, I think you get a much better idea. I don't read French very well, but the flavor of what he's saying comes across in a very, very different way. Because what Sheikh Anta Diop is saying is this: the foundational population was indigenous. It absorbed other elements. Absorbing other elements doesn't change your identity if they're thoroughly absorbed. And this is what he is actually saying.
So he's more using Negro as a cultural identity?
Yeah. Remember, the book was translated by Mercer Cook, who was a Black American, and he's an older man. Mercer Cook was professor of Romance languages and literature at Howard University. Nothing to sneeze at. But Mercer Cook had to work with the language of the day. Remember, that book was translated a long time ago. And so when you think about it like that, you have to think about it in context and time. And so Mercer Cook is using the word Negro and Black interchangeably. But Mercer Cook, if you saw Mercer Cook If Mercer Cook was walking in the street in Bogota or in Cartagena and he was dressed in his fine suit because he's a professor, people would say, oh, he's a white man, maybe he's got a black grandmother. You see, I'm trying to make a point that in Mercer Cook's mind, this word Negro is not meaning Seligman's true Negro construct. You see, you have to understand that. And once you understand that, you say, oh. And if you read St. Clair Drake's book, Black Folk Here and There, Volume 1, he explains this very well. Just get that. 1987, Black Folk Here and There, St. Clair Drake. Sheikh Anta Joke, for all his faults and stuff, very correctly identified something. He said, well, it doesn't matter whether there was some black person, a person that you would call black, living 1,000 years ago in some place outside of that. And Sheikh Anta Joke was against this. He said, that doesn't matter. He said, what matters is trying to construct a narrative or a construct of the whole nation, of the whole family, as it were. And there's problems with that, too. So hence Sheikh Anta Joke's thesis about the interconnectedness of Africa, which, once again, the issue, Sheikh Anta Joke is wrong about many things, wrong, but incorrectly appreciated because you have to look at him in terms of 1954.
Every time I tell people that, when I argue with somebody today and I go, Diop was a product of his time. I mean, he was dealing with rampant Eurocentrism. He was framing everything within what he was being bombarded. I've always understood that.
But also, though, the value of understanding, to look for the good in what he has to say, you realize that much of what he had to say, or much of what he was doing, if you could go back in a time machine to 1950, 54, 45, you would find things, similar types of works being written by Europeans. The only thing that they disliked about him is that he said that ancient Egyptians were black, and he did not mean that they were Seligman's true Negroes. But everything else Sheikh Anta Joke wrote, the diffusionist thesis, the thesis of interconnected of language families, he could find a reference in European writing to do the identical thing that he was doing.
Which lots of times they were doing wrong, too.
Yeah, that's the whole point, is that he fit into a genre of diffusionist French thinking. And if you understand him that way, then you can see what's good in what he wrote, because Sheikh Anta Joke was one of the first people to point out these Saharan connections. I mean, to formalize a very positive thing. Sheikh Anta Joke correctly stood the anthropology on its head. And as far as he was concerned, if it's more than 50%, that constitutes a majority in a population. And so from his point of view, when he looked at the old skeletal studies, he said, well, these things aren't thoroughly accurate because they miss variation. And when he has those passages in his books, when he talks about variability and laughs, he says, a theory that would turn a Messiah into a Caucasian is laughable. He said, it's like picking apart European phenotypes, he doesn't use that word, and declaring them to be separate races. He said, this is ridiculous. And he is absolutely right about that.
Right,
now,
in that sense, yeah.
Yeah, no, so there's a way to appreciate him and to understand, again, what he was up against. You have to have read deeply many things, and then you can see where his genius really was. Yeah, basically, for me, the whole thing is that I sort of base my whole set of arguments on the notion that they're indigenous people in places, they've asymmetrically absorbed differences, and through just random processes sometimes you get changes in small local groups as opposed to the whole region, and gene frequencies and lineage frequencies, and I would say social selection, all kinds of things. The Berber situation is kind of odd and very interesting because some of those Berber groups, maybe 49%, they'll have L2,
It gives us a complex look into what Diop was actually trying to say. And since y'all just at the barbershop cutting hair, ain't reading no damn books, and talking crazy, you wouldn't know what the hell he was trying to say. So when I try to say, yo, it wasn't as simple as just black and get to the minute details of it, oh, I'm just making it up. When I make the point, yo, that they wasn't just trying to make us feel good. You got the fake hyperbole with that. I'm going to say this again. Those African-centered scholars wasn't just trying to make us feel good. They was fighting for the continent of Africa. They was fighting for African people, regardless of their skin color. Remember, the white boys say, if you light skin and got thin lips and got straight hair, then you're not African. The great African thinker was like, no, there's a variation there. And to try to pin the craziness is just outright wild to me. They do this shit on purpose. willfully. They don't really study. They don't really read. Because at the beginning of the conversation, the fight was that they wasn't African. Or niggas like Chief X would say the word African, then explain the Middle East, Levant. He do it every time. That Egypt was populated from the north. From where? From the Mediterranean. He says it out of his mouth and still calls them Africans. Yeah, Chef, you ain't never got to worry about me talking about no Egypt with you no more, bro. You think you ain't talking to me about that. I'm saying this nigga can't even read ChatGPT. He see the word black, he loses his mind. Chef is the black algist. Chef will tell you that the Nubians is black. And then forget that the Nubians mixed with the Egyptians. That the people before they was even called Nubians was mixed with the people that wasn't even called Egyptians. 10,000 years. But he called them black. Let us move forward. Huh? Let's go. Where we at? Let's see. Got that out the way, how complex what Diaz was talking about. Very complex. Saying Africa is Egyptomania. Let's see.
These Egyptomaniacs is arguing the ancient Egyptians is just they African. What? That don't mean shit to us. Once we find out that North Africans are indigenous Africans and they created those civilizations in North Africa and black people didn't create those civilizations in North Africa, now Egypt and North Africa don't mean nothing to black people now.
No. Egypt don't mean nothing to ignorant people who mischaracterize, who don't understand. Those that are intelligent African Americans, FBA, foundational black African Americans. Those who can read and write and talk to experts and read literature like anthropology books and go to the museum and read the literature, they understand what the word African means. Those who can understand evolution and that are scientific literate know what the word African means. They know that there's no one way to be African. Those who understand and can read and write and are scientific literate clearly understand that humans have been migrating and that your indigenousness does not rely on you just being static and not having other people come into your gene pool. Those who understand and can read and write. Those who are just wild in the streets, just cutting hair, it don't mean nothing to you because you are asphyxiated with the word black. Chef a black algist, man. He think a person turn color when they stick their foot over the line. Oh, they black, he not. Chef ignorant when it comes to this topic. I kind of realize that. I said, this guy is ignorant. That he can actually go teach a class, give people their license, do all the stuff. That is credible. That man really do that. But when it comes to the conversation of quote unquote Egypt, that man downright ignorant. Him and Chief, that's why he agreed with Chief X. Because both of them ignorant as hell. These niggas fought me for 5 years, yo, over the Africanness of the damn Egyptians, yo. And I showed them every source. Now, all the sources said, now the museum said, this nigga still saying that? Nigga, I ain't never talking to you no more. And you know, I fucks with you, Chef. But bro, me and you, we can't have this conversation no more. That's off the table. We can talk about the Greeks, the Romans. We can talk about West Africa. We can talk about that. But we never talking about this again. I'm never having this. If you're around, can't do it. You can't read ChatGPT. You think ChatGPT is racist. You don't know that the ChatGPT was explaining our position The pseudo-killer's position, the scientifically literate position, give you proper context to how the word black was used. Why would I have a conversation with you? Want to find the part when we talked about colored, because you said that too. Let me see. Do I have that? Let's see. Let me let you finish on why African don't mean nothing.
It's a wrap. Give it up. Walk away. You lost. You don't win with the generic term African. The fuck does that even mean?
Let me tell you what it means. It means that people was homegrown on the continent called Africa. What does the term Western Asian mean? What does the term Eurasian mean? The term Africa means just what it says. This civilization was homegrown in Africa. The food they ate was African food, not Mediterranean food. They ate African food. They ate African fish. They drank African women. Drank African women. They drank African water. They married African women. They died on African soil. They got eaten by African crocodiles, ran over by African elephants, got eaten by African lions. It's all in a language. It's all in the glyph verifying that these people are indigenous Africans. And those that really study understand that indigenous does not mean that you don't have migrations into your gene pool. Only you would try to play that game. Now, this is why using the racialized term black is confusion. Chef makes the point. Now let me find the point he makes here. This when he called himself getting on me. Let me see. Let me find the point.
The fuck does that mean? Nothing. Because then when we look at it, and Ngozi say, man, these North Africans and Egyptians, right? If you talking genetically, they're closer to Western Asians.
So let's see. Let's put that statement in the chat GPT. I'm chat GPTing these niggas from here on out. Let's see. Let's see, Ngozi. Don't confuse me with nobody else's conversation. Okay, we here. Like I said, I put the 3 main articles in the damn chat GPT. Did it early. Not gonna reread. Go back and look at the other show. Right? All the articles. These are all Egyptian articles. I asked the questions, right? I read them. None of this shit mean what they were saying. Okay? The question was, put the 2 articles. The rare ancient DNA in the Sahara opens the window to the reason. Let me see. Very past. Let's see. Ancient DNA from the Green Sahara reveal ancestral North African lineages. I wanted to talk about that. I also put in the Nurak study right here. Whole genome ancestry, the old kingdom of Egypt. Does this article claim the Egyptians are more an outside of African population than an indigenous homegrown population? The shit said no. I ain't gonna read no. Okay, so that claim you just said out your mouth is false. But let us move down here. Okay, let's get right here in a clear, concise way. Right? Here you go. What's the point? The question. Here's a strict Northeast African versus Levant, West Asian versus Sub-Saharan African translation of what these specific articles are saying. Step 1. Which of these articles are actually about ancient Egyptians? Only the whole genome ancestry of the Old Kingdom Egyptian analysis is of Old Kingdom Egyptian genome. The 2 Green Saharan pieces are about Takakari, Libya, pastoralists. and the broader North African deep ancestry, not ancient Egyptians. So we're asking, do these articles claim the ancient Egyptians are more closer to the Levant, Western Asia, than to Africans? That claim would have to come from an Old Kingdom Egyptian paper. Step 2. What does the Old Kingdom Egyptian paper show in their 3-bucket framing? Indigenous African as North African. The Old Kingdom individual in the model as mostly North African related ancestry. The authors say NUE001 is genetically more similar to present day people in North Africa and West Asia. Goes on to say the only statistical accepted two-source model in mixture with 77.6% ancestry represented Middle Eastern Morocco, plus remainder of the Fertile Crescent source. They interpreted Morocco, related component as consistent with shared ancestry across North Africa. And it's evident that local Egyptian Neolithic populations contribute genetically to early dynastic Old Kingdom people. If indigenous Africans include North Africans, Northeast Africans, which are indigenous to Africa, then the paper is not saying the Egyptians were more Near Eastern than African. It's saying the best fit model is mostly North African related. B, outside Africa, as Levant, Western Asia, Fertile Crescent. The sample QPADM model includes minority, Western Asian related component. Minority, see? The remainder is described as most closely related to Neolithic Mesopotamia, estimated at 22.4. They also reported acceptable 3-source model where small Levantian Neolithic Chalcolithic Levant component appears, but with large uncertainty. The F4 test is explicitly framed to identify which Western Asian source best explains the Neurot deviation from Morocco using deeply diverse African outgroup. Morocco, Mesopotamian. So yes, the paper does support genetic affinity, gene flow links to the Fertile Crescent, expressing Mesopotamian link ancestry in this individual. Infinities. You know what that means? They have infinities. You know that yes, gene flow actually came from these areas. Just like I said, just like I've been saying. Indigenous Africans and sub-Saharan Africans, especially. In this paper's own wording, the model setup, Neurot, is not being characterized as primarily sub-Saharan African-like. Instead, it sits in North Africa, West Asian space. The PCA and its model with North African, West Asian source. That means if your comparison group is mostly unmixed sub-Saharan Africans, the Old Kingdom individual will generally look closer to North Africans and Western Asian, than to those of sub-Saharan references, because that's exactly the climb they're analyzing. North Africa, boom, boom, West Asia. All right? The sources are from North Africa and West Africa. Answer your question exactly. Do any of these articles claim the ancient Egyptians are more closely related to the Levant, Western Asia, than to the indigenous Africans? If indigenous Africans include, they're being specific here, North Africans, Northeast Africans, the answer is no. The Old Kingdom Egyptian is modeled and mostly North African related, and the authors explicitly discuss local Egyptian Neolithic contribution continuity. If indigenous African means sub-Saharan Africans specifically, the Old Kingdom paper results are consistent with the Neurot having a stronger affinity to North Africa, Western Asia than many sub-Saharan reference groups. But that is not the same claim, as Egyptians are basically Levantian or more non-African than African. The paper best model is still majority North African related, minority Mesopotamia related. I had to take time to just put that in there like that, man. Because they talk that talk. Asonic, I know you've been saying that. I know I'm saying that's not true. I'm saying that I done talked to 5 geneticists, white and black. They say that's not what they're saying. The ChatGPT supports that. So go get me a scientific study to say what y'all saying. Go get that. Don't talk me to death. Don't do it. Drop the source. Y'all got the invading gene theory. Very interesting to me. I'm not listening to y'all at all, especially Chef. Simple as that. So now a North African ain't an African. Now you got to be a Sub-Saharan African to be African. But is that not what the colonial power said? The colonial power said just that. That if you don't got the big lips and the peppercorn hair and the dark skin, that you're not African. Was that not the argument? Was not that the argument? Was that not the point? Was that not the fight? Wait a minute. Having big lips and peppercorn hair and dark skin ain't the only thing that make you African. How about being indigenous to the continent? Does that not support the fact that you are indigenous Africans? That was the point. They couldn't even get out their mouth. They was mumbling. They was mumbling about. Oh, well, now they say it. Now the word African don't mean nothing. Crazy. Well, I tell you, man. Yeah, I can't do it. This ain't what I'm doing. Go get an expert. We pay him, get him on. Just say what you saying. Outside of that, I ain't trying to hear from none of y'all. That's where I'm at. If you ain't got that doctor in front of your name, I ain't trying to hear. Now y'all defeating ChatGPT. Now y'all defeating Wikipedia. Now y'all defeating the consensus now. Oh, because y'all know that's what the consensus is now. Once they start putting them in these daggone museums and stuff like that, it's in anthropology books. What are we talking about here? How do we measure this? So now we can't think. We can't think that a Northeast African population, a rock throw from the Levant, migrations coming in back and forth, they're not going to be more close related to somebody all the way down deep in the South somewhere in Sub-Saharan Africa. We don't understand that. Y'all wild out. Y'all do it on purpose, man. Yeah, y'all do that on. Yeah, I get it now. It's on purpose.
So you don't want to play their African game. You even lose there. Right? Listen, if you play that they are just African, right, then you actually lose there also. Because Ngozi said they have more affinities with people in Western Asia.
And you misconstruing that man's words, yo. I know you is. Misconstruing the shit.
Ain't our type of African.
Now we gotta have our type of African. Our type of African was based off of racist and white supremacy. Asonic, you know you're my man, right? But let me deal with your statement right here, yo. Let me get this straight right here. Semite is Afro-Asiatic, which was the same as Egyptian being Afro. You made that up, Asonic. You made that up. Let's talk about it. It's 6 branches of Afro-Asiatic. Okay? Afro-Asiatic start in Africa. 5 branches are in Africa. 1 Semitic is in the Middle East. This is the part that Diop's got right. You don't have Semitic loan words in Egyptian. Although it is related because it's Afro-Asiatic, keyword Afro-Asiatic or Afrasian. Is that how you say it? Is that how Chris Rock said it? The 5 branches connects it to indigenous African languages. Afro-Asiatic was not born into Africa. I'll fight you on that tooth and nail. Diop's argued this correctly at the Cameroon Symposium. He said it's not Semitic language. They tried to say that. That was the fight. He got the wool off part wrong. So nobody's not denying that Afro-Asiatic languages, one of them being outside of Africa, nobody's denying that. He's saying that language left up out of Africa and formed a branch called Semitic. Cooking with hot grease. Appreciate you, though, Sonny. Great point. Might be missing your point. You don't hit the link, so I wouldn't know what you were saying. But I got a pretty good grasp of what you were saying. I thought I did. I made a mistake. Take that back.
Reggie, y'all can do what you and Unc can go do a show. Y'all do whatever y'all want to do.
That's what I'm doing. But you said you never going, because I'm never talking to you about Egypt again. And never is a strong word. I can't do it. Can't do it, bro. Now I need to find the part where he talked about the color. Let's see.
I had to write a letter.
Yeah, all that's don't plump me in. I don't got nothing to do with none of that. I don't hear none of
this. Address me like I'm pretty intelligent. And then he had to look it up.
Lying, nigga, lying.
He said,
nigga, lying.
Address me like I'm
lying.
Me and Reggie went through 3 dictionaries. So y'all could come on here, Reggie, and try to York me, right? So the only thing could happen in this conversation, me stupid, but you niggas, I mean,
been a lot of things in my life. I ain't never been stupid. And I know when a nigga read, when a nigga don't. Chef don't really read. Chef ain't read them up-to-date articles. He ain't read that. He don't care to read it. But let me move forward.
I'm stupid as fuck. So no, I don't want to talk to you niggas. I'm stupid as fuck. So no, I don't want to talk to you niggas. I'm stupid as fuck. So no, I don't want to talk to you niggas.
That's the thing you did get right. You ignorant as hell when it comes to this subject. But you're not only ignorant, you're willfully ignorant, bro. And you know it. But watch this, though. The point I want to make sure we get right here. This is a good point right here.
I don't want to talk to you, nigga. You know what I mean? A asshole when I talk to y'all is insulting. Niggas can look at dictionary up. That man. What? Hey. I had a conversation with Unc the other night.
Now watch this. Now this is something that y'all need to pay attention to. I did watch the whole show Unbiased. You're a fucking pseudo unbiased. You're a whole fake pseudo nigga. I watched the whole show. You just dove in this motherfucker talking about Steph. I mean, he did say ChatGPT was daggone racist because they used the word black. He misconstrued that, bro. You capping, nigga. Stop capping, yo. All cappers get away from me, yo. We not, because I ain't capping on none of y'all. Niggas act like they don't understand what the website mean. The website saying it. That you act like you don't know what Wikipedia say. They all say the shit. The nigga is a motherfucking pseudo Tariq is. Y'all act like he ain't got nothing to do with FBA. As he marched off to Africa some damn way and left y'all in smoke. Now you looking stupid because he's switching up on y'all. Tether this, tether that, all in Africa with the tethers. Eating tether food. Man, get out of here, man. This shit is all wishy-washy, man. You wishy-washy, man. Nigga act like you can't read the website. They ain't got nothing to do. Man, shut up. All that shit wishy-washy. Some bullshit. Bunch of bullshit going around here. Bunch of fake YouTubers on top of that. Now, watch this conversation right here. Watch he lie about the shit.
Right. And brother Uncle Cat told me I woke up shaking. Again, I woke up shaking. He said, I'm having a hard time even bringing this back up, right?
Flim Flam Academy.
The brother said, you either...
Freeze this. Sonic, why are you saying that Dinka spoke now? What the fuck do that mean? That they smoke now on Saharan? What is that? What does that have to do with the conversation, man? Anybody that scientifically know that the fucking Dinka ain't got nothing to do with Nile Valley or Nile Saharan? What are we saying here, man? What be the ultimate game here? What is the game? What's the game that we playing here? What are we doing? Niggas don't want to call it Northeast Africa. Why not? Because they're afraid. The Egyptians look like a Northeast African population. They don't look like a West African population. The two populations aren't related. They just not. And the reason people study it, African Americans, because one, African Americans know we come from Western Central Africa. We don't know precisely where. That's why we gave glory to the whole continent. How don't nobody understand that? I apologize, our son. How we don't understand that African Americans, man, was just loving Africa, yo. Once you recognize you was from Africa, you ain't separate. Oh, I'm not gonna mess with this part. I'm not. It was just Africa, bro. Tell you, man. Nigga, all African, listen, man, you don't know what Chef is saying, bro. You actually don't. You scamming with him. If you sitting here thinking that every author that was fighting for black, man, they was just fighting for fucking just Africa, period. Because they said Africans didn't do nothing. Wasn't no fine new DJ. Hey, man, we don't mean this part of Africa, we mean that part of Africa. We're not just saying this. We just saying this part of Africa is ignorant and stupid. Really, man? Man, we took that shit. When they showed Africans in the jungle, we ain't know they was just, man, get out of here, man. They showed Africans in the jungle, man. They said Africans. We was thinking the continent. What are we talking about here, man? The black writers was fighting for classical civilization, man. They knew about Western civilization. They taught about West African civilization, and the fight was for classical civilizations. And they act like the classical civilization that rivaled Greeks and Rome wasn't an African civilization, man. To fuck with the black shit. Knock that off. The real fight. The real point that Diab got off, but they was indigenous Africans. That's the real point. What kind of language you think? I just played the whole Samantha Cater joint. He was like, yo, he wasn't just saying nigga vote. He explained, man, this nigga got 30 degrees. You think I'm listening to y'all over Samantha Cater? Man, stop it. Man, y'all better go ahead to work, man. Do your work, get your job, man. Get your money, take care of your family, man. You ain't doing, this ain't what you doing. You ain't spending your time in life on this. This is a YouTube show, bro. Trust me, man. Everybody knock it off. Chef ain't no expert. I ain't no expert, man. We just trying to presented. I'm the only nigga with real sources, though, for the record. Up to date shit. But let's watch him get into this. And this, he can't understand this. Watch this. He can't understand my point. He gonna misconstrue my point on purpose.
Oh my God. He said it's either white people or colored people. And he tried to say that all people that wasn't white was colored and they're black. Then he showed the skin mapping. And he said that everybody who ain't white on this map was considered black. And then he had to look it up. So how do you get that deep into a conversation and you gotta look up that? Like, everybody know that Latinos and Mexicans are called colored people, but they're not called black.
And then you lying. Because you got the Latino, Dominican, some of them do consider themselves black. So let's address the people of color. My statement was very, very clear. I said the majority of human population started in the areas in the temperate zones. People of color. I said the majority of humans on earth are people of color. Outside of people of color, you would have white people using the racial constructs. Watch this. My statement was, if people in the Adam and Eve island that are dark skinned are considered people of color, but have no African ancestry, they have Eastern Asian ancestry, but yet they're still called black, then why is it that people that live on the continent of Africa, the Egyptians that are called, watch this, people of color, and have African ancestry and live on the continent of Africa, why ain't they called black? That's what I said. So Chef and Sosa say, but no, all black people, all people of color aren't black. I was like, all right, okay. And I said, that's why that shit don't make no sense. I don't give a damn. Y'all, if y'all sitting there thinking that makes some sense, I'm saying that don't make no sense to me. I'm gonna say it real slow. Even if it is all people of color are not black people, that's why we don't use the term black, because the social construct doesn't make sense. That was my overreaching point. How can that make sense? If people in the Adam and Eve island are called people of color and black people, but have no ancestral ties to African people at all, but people living on a continent right beside, right, come out the Green Sahara, like Chef said, he called niggas black. And if you saying Egyptian people of color, why they ain't called black people then? That's why none of that, and they got African ancestry. That's why that don't make no sense to me. It don't gotta make sense to them. It don't make no sense. Now it's a racial construct, and they divvy it up to fit their narrative. That's why it's a racial construct. You can make anybody black. You can take it away and you can give it. It's not a scientific answer. That's why, Chef, it's a social construct. So, nigga, if I ain't found that social construct like you, then don't hate me, hate the game. I'm saying that don't make no sense. And that's why we never talk about Egypt again. Because that shit don't make no, it makes sense to you. And Chief X to call Nubians black. And leave out the Egyptians using the social construct. That makes sense to you. That don't make no sense to me. That's why I don't say the Nubians is black, because that don't make no sense. That's why. It don't make no sense. That's why they don't use it, because there is no race. That's why. The nigga act like he don't understand that. Nigga capping. Nigga capping. Nigga capping. We having a wild ass social construct argument, which is wild. And these honest black people color, but the niggas with sleeping with the niggas marrying the niggas ain't black. Crazy as hell. That's why the shit's stupid. Animalistic. Huh.
Everybody know that Asians is put in the colored category, but not the black category. And I think everybody understands that.
Nigga, depending on what part of Asia you go in the southern area, these people are darker in color. That's the indigenous population. That population is the first population there. They're definitely dark brown. That's why Venetia Rashid and them got it all mixed up. Use the eyeball test, man. Knock it off, man. That's why this shit is flagrant. And don't make no sense. I ain't even listening to you. I ain't listening to you, bro. I can't listen to you. I can't even say your name no more. This shit's so stupid. Yeah, I can't listen to none of y'all now. I'm done with that. Yeah, that shit is crazy to me, yo. Wow. Wild as shit. That shit makes sense to y'all. Nigga in the Adamese Island is black. Don't have no contact with Africa, but they black. But people living in Africa, been living with what y'all call black people for 10,000 years. Marrying, sleeping, all that, they ain't, man, fuck out of here, man. All that shit stupid, yo. Then you got niggas that just say everybody black because they just ignorant as hell. Because they mind is colonized. They can't even see the diversity in Africa. Yeah, all right. They don't. Absolutely, Zan. They do not about right. People don't need about some people don't even abide by color rules. This is a United States thing for real. Crazy. All right, what's my last point here? Let's see. Got that one taken care of. Got the gypsum, got the 50 argument. All right. So, few things here. All right. I think we cleared up what ChatGPT was trying to say. All right. It wasn't being racist. It was simply explaining how the Greeks was talking about skin color and not a hierarchical thing. Fighting for the indigenousness of the Egyptians is not Egyptomania. It's the scholarly consensus. They are indigenous Africans. Being indigenous Africans don't mean you gotta have big lips, black skin, and peppercorn hair. Being indigenous African don't mean you just stand there with the force field and nobody come into Africa. Doesn't mean that. It means that the population is homegrown. The DNA explains the incursion to the gene pool. That's why DNA is there. That's why history is there. That's why we overlay the archaeology, migrations, we overlay that with the DNA in the history to get the full picture. They knew they could see the symbols from Mesopotamia there on certain things. They knew they was trading, but at what extent though? They didn't know. For real. They see the variations. They see that. That's why it's important to know it's a Northeast African population, not just North Africa, but Northeast Africa. Chef doesn't think Egypt is in Northeast Africa. That's why I'm not talking to him about Egypt no more. We can talk about any goddamn thing. The Orioles, the Ravens, Lamar Jackson, fucking some black history shit in modern times, but we will not talk about Egypt again. because you fucking ignorant on the subject and you playing in front of my face. So, Egyptomanians do not claiming Africa, saying that Egypt is African means a lie. It's part of the scholarly consensus. Don't let the barbershop guy change that. My conversation about color was clear that shit don't make no damn sense. It's a social construct, meaning you can construct the shit the way you want to. One drop rule is pseudoscientific. So don't hate me because I don't understand the racial construct the way you understand it or the way they write about it. I'm saying the way they wrote about it didn't make no damn sense. It was racism that did that. So we got that clear. What else we got clear? Got the ChatGPT point clear. Scamming, clearly. Scamming, chef. Got that clear. Got the social construct clear. Got the reading comprehension clear. You promise you're not going to bash the scholars no more, which is a lie. You're going to do that tomorrow when you make your next video. I don't believe you can not. You don't got a heart not to talk about Egypt no more. What else we got? Yeah, I think we cleared it all up. And that confusion about what the fuck Diop's really meant when he was talking about Negro. We let Diop jump into that. It's a good show, man. I enjoyed it, man. I just wanted to touch him up a little bit, man. Ain't nothing personal, man. Just business, man. Man, go ahead and like and subscribe, man. You know, hit the late night cash app if you feel like it, man. You must gonna take this back. Hey, appreciate you becoming a member, but you say you ain't do this shit on purpose. The ancestors grabbed your hand and made you a channel member, yo. That shit funny, man. Big up to everybody, man. Yo, big up to the conversation, man. Yeah, anytime they start talking that shit, man, about who the Egyptians is, put that shit into your ChatGPT and let the shit roll. That's where I'm at now. I'm putting shit in the chat. I'm not talking. Not arguing with y'all no more. Yeah, you can all mess it up too much for me. It's crazy, man. Make sure y'all like and subscribe, man. Nah, I really don't understand Chef's point, bro. I dropped the link and let you explain Chef's point, though. I don't think you understand Chef's point, nigga. Yeah, I don't think you understand it. I'm not sure you understand Chef's point, bro. What is Chef's point? Man, you made the Bible for somebody else, boy. Well, I appreciate that, though, bro. That's love. Dang. Think you did buy for somebody. I got to figure that out. Think this. Let me see. Shoot. You didn't explain it, man. Explain it. Go ahead, explain it. You gonna get on here and explain it or what? What you gonna type it? What you gonna do? Talk to me. You already explained what? What is he trying to say? That African don't mean nothing. What do you mean? So we reading the words don't mean shit now. Go ahead. What it don't mean is that there's a pure actions. You pure. That's the pseudo shit. Come on, Solo. Buy Solo 8. Come on, man. Type. What's the point? Trying to see. I don't see explain. Chef is saying we fought for black. We fought for black Egypt for reasons. We fought for black Egypt for a reason. And now you're trying to give it all away with her. What? That's not true. That's a lie, bro. That's what I'm trying to tell you. You scammed out. You scammed up, yo. That's a scam, yo. That ain't true, yo. Yo, can't verify that shit. That's crazy. Yo, niggas, come on, bro. Motherfuckers said they was black and African. Nigga, that was an argument. Nigga. The black part is racialized, that peeled off. We left with the indigenous Africans, yo. But niggas fought for them being read the fucking book, say they Africans, yo. We wasn't cutting the shit in half. Right? We what niggas you don't think people couldn't see maps back then? They see what the fuck Egypt was? Shit. Come on, man. Stop it, man. Come on. Y'all bludgeon y'all half to death on that conversation right there, yo. That's a bludgeon. That's an easy victory. They just meant they was something in that. Ain't the fuck they just meant. Y'all crazy. Tripping. Anyway, all right. Drop the link. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Good show though, man. 2-hour joint. Appreciate that, man. Appreciate the conversation, man. Appreciate you, Chef. Give me some content, man. But don't teach about Egypt again like you said. You're done. We taking bets. How long you think before he do it? I say it's tomorrow. I say he can't do it. I think he's stuck in a conundrum, but he got to do it. Because he's a black guy. He black people. He's stuck. He can't get out that room. That's why me and him are, because he can't get out the room. He think the reason we don't say black because we hiding something. Oh, shit. Man, I tell you, man, it's interesting with me.
And I'm just trying to get an idea from what the questions I'm hearing is, I mean, what would you define then as an African?
I don't define an African or the African. There is a matrix of variability that constitutes a description of an African reality. Very different notion. The moment you start defining things with narrow terms and in particular ways, and a non-scientific, for something that's as fluid as this, is the moment that you will get into trouble, because then you're going to be forced to explain things, like I said, with typological methods or deductive methods when they don't fit. Okay? 60% is the corresponding value for a variable once cherished by physical anthropologists, namely the cephalic index. And he goes on to talk about serological traits that also are highly variable, aspects of fingerprints that are highly variable. These are the classical traits that anthropologists used at one time. Some still do. Of course, now we have DNA, and DNA diversity is also known to be extremely great in Africa. He asked the following questions, though. He says, confronted with such a wide variation in biological characters in the native populations of sub-Saharan Africa, and to be frank, with the stereotyped idea that most of us have about what a true African looks like, one is inclined to ask whether all of this diversity originated in sub-Saharan Africa. If not, how much of it was the result of gene flow, that is to say admixture or migration into the area? I don't know what you mean by Mediterranean, but let me repeat myself.
African.
No, well, there's more than one way to be African. There's more than one way to look African. There's more than one way to look Asian. There's more than one way to be Asian. That is what you have to, from my perspective as an evolutionary biologist, that's what you have to get your arms around. The people in southern India are just as Asian as the people in northern China, who are just as Asian as the people from the Eurasian steppes. You know, they don't look alike. And you measure them, they don't look alike.
Okay. Yeah. Let me put it another way. For example, you have Elizabeth Taylor playing Cleopatra.
Okay.
That's what I'm talking about.
Well, what do you mean? What are you talking about?
When did that sort of look into Egypt?
The thing is that, number one, who was Cleopatra?
I'm asking you.
well, what I'm saying, Cleopatra was probably a Macedonian. Well, she was a Macedonian.
From near Greece.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I mean. When the people that look like that going to Egypt.
Well, but I'm trying to have you understand that they are carrying genealogically, in terms of their male ancestry at least, they're carrying something that ties them to the rest of the continent and does not tie them to Europe, even though physically, externally, you may say, well, gee, they look like Europeans. You understand what I'm saying? So when you ask me, when did X, we don't use those concepts of Mediterranean race, Alpine race, Nordic race, all that's from another era. You know, it's descriptive, and in actual fact, you will find, you can find individuals all over the world who might conform to one of those sort of categories. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So then,
that's the same thing they say about being Arab. Arab is a culture, not a race. It means traveling person.
Okay, but I'm trying to understand, what are you asking me here? Well, you asked me very specifically. You asked me, when did Mediterranean people get to Egypt? I don't know what you mean by Mediterranean. But in Dogon, other Africans, in other words, this little thing is called a septoaperture. It's felt to be a genetic trait. When you do an analysis of frequencies on this trait, you find out the Badarians, 50% of the individuals, and it's a very small sample here, had at least one of these septoapertures from Cargoasis during the Coptic period, 55%. Other Egyptians from Lisht, should be Lisht, 43%. The Somali, 52%. Japanese, Ainu, 11 to 15%. Quote unquote American Negroes, you can tell this is from an old paper, 18%. Whites born in the USA, 5.2%. Anyway, what this is saying, the Northeast Africans and North Africans have a high percentage of this septoaperture, Wadi Halfa, Jebel Sahaba, and also the material that Alison Brooks found down in Zaire that's 25,000 years old. They're with.
Man, be on the lookout for some Martha Cater lectures coming, man. Probably in the next month, man. Ain't gonna be free. Y'all gotta respect it. All right? Come ask him all them damn questions. All that shit, why Africa mean that? You don't mean it. Why it's not important. Yeah. Yep. Let's see. See kind of great questions y'all gonna have. Well, I tell you, man. I appreciate everybody that stayed through the night. Yo, ain't one of them fun, man. Real fun, yo. Yeah, tune in next time, Africans. Yeah, man. And if you call the Egyptians Africans, all of a sudden you gotta be a Pan African. Where they get that shit from, man?
God killer, we make those ring. Bass from the cannons, use me. NWCO, clear vision. Hilltop roofs, no gimmicks. Montgomery, just the tempo. Race this turn, info heavy, show sources. Don't chit chat, no proof, fall back. Quick, Rogers Ave, where I'm at. Another Pequee, stay intact. Park Heights, facts ready, Liberty Heights. No ferry, yo, playing weak, full fast. Gear review, hold that. Methods first, no myth, you replicate, then it's legit. God killer, we make bells ring. Bass in the cannons, haze ring. You promote pseudo, dust cap. Sink or swim, better adapt. I just have, talk slick left. Another Pequee, move quick left. Show sources, don't chit chat. No proof, fall back. Quick. NWCO, clear vision. Hilltop roofs, no gimmicks. Correlation, ain't cause headlines, love applause. Rogers Ave, no fake flex. Novin Pequee, no late. Dion Riley, facts, step, say less. Learn up, then rap. Mondom and shift the tempo. Rest this down and fall heady. Park Heights, facts ready. Liberty Heights, no ferry. Dark killer, we make bells ring. Bass from the cannons, ears ring. We promote pseudo, that's cap. Sink or swim, better adapt. Rogers Ave, talk slick. Nah, Northern Pequee, move quick. Nah, Rogers Ave, no fake flex. Northern Pequee, no latex. Show sources, don't chit chat. No proof, phone back. Quick. DOI link, facts, stamp. Say less, learn up, then rap. Shirley Avenue.
Look, man, I'm your host, Bobby Banger, and we out.